This is Jeremy Wentworth-Stanley. I'm the fellow who has a hyphen in my name. The hyphen is silent, but I am anything but that. Respectonomics brings you a discussion in the Living Asset series, and here we're talking about the art of pain. The art of pain. This is Jeremy Wentworth-Stanley. I am your voice of Respectonomics. And we're going to explore this idea together of what does pain mean and how do we call it an art form? Most of us would agree that pain is extremely uncomfortable, undesirable, to be avoided, and no thank you very much. Well, the answer is that pain serves a brilliant purpose because pain is a way of the human body experiencing something that is out of order. And if something is out of order, to state the obvious, it would be a very fine thing to bring it into order. Here's the difficulty. As we experience pain, we tend to take steps to avoid it. And of course, avoidance does not mean fixing the problem. Avoidance means just covering it up. And we need to understand something about covering up pain. Pain is not something that we go around typically saying, I am hurting. As a matter of fact, when people come to us and say, I'm hurting, it's my knee, it's my hip, it's my elbow, whatever it is, we actually tend to distance ourselves and say, I don't want to hear about it. That isn't a very compliant, it's not a very generous attitude, but it is also one that is reflected in the fact that we tend not to disclose our pains. Now, our pain physically, if we've got a knee that's giving us trouble, we will in fact likely say to somebody, I can't go with you in the boat because my knee won't stand it. So we can be very clear about when the something is out of order and it's going to restrict our activity, and that's fine. But there are two parts to this pain discussion that we need to be aware of. One is we don't admit it, and we probably fail to admit it to ourselves. And secondly, the pain that we have isn't necessarily restricted to or concentrated in the proverbial knee or the hip. Pain is something that we are all experiencing. And the world today is full of pain. I'm talking about here a pain that reflects on mental pain, psychological pain, the pain that exists within one's body that one can't really put one's finger on. It's that pain that inhibits us. It's the pain that is throbbing away. And the key behind this one is these are the pains that are much more difficult to define and again can be avoided by ourselves. We can say, no, I'm not really hurting. And then, of course, not getting the help where we need it. So the whole measure of this discussion is this. Pain is, I call it an art form. It is something that the human body understands. The human body without pain would be in serious trouble. There are people who do not tolerate or do not experience pain, and they're in terrible risks of doing things to their body that are in every sense damaging. If we experience pain, it is like it's like a forewarning. It's like a warning signal that waves its hand at us and says, hey, this isn't right. This is out of order. And therefore, we have the ability to be able to put it in order. But out of this entire message, there are two things that I believe, Respectonomics believes, needs to be put on the table. And the first one is, one of the greatest pains we experience today is isolation, a lack of inclusiveness. And I'm not talking about inclusiveness in that sort of liberal sense. I'm talking about the sense that we just don't feel included. We feel that in the corporate world, we feel that in the political world, we often feel that in our social world. And a lot of people today have an extraordinary comment that they are very, very busy people out there working away and all the things you think about. And they find at the end of the day, they do not have any friends. There's a sense of isolation, a sense of despair, a sense of hopelessness, if you will. And of course, with all of that, a sense of indifference. because you cover it up, or I cover it up, by thinking, well, there's no point fussing about it, I'll just lie low. The lying low is a sense of indifference. And when we are indifferent to others, we are indifferent to ourselves. It's a very mutual relationship that how we treat others is how we treat ourselves. There's a mutuality, a reciprocity there. Therefore, one of the solutions to this pain issue is to recognize it. Secondly, to go out and get help. We talk today about mental health. It's a sort of giveaway expression that seems to cover everything. I don't think that's honest. I think a better answer is we are experiencing mental pain. We experience physical pain. We experience spiritual pain. We experience pain at the mental level, and we should be able to disclose that to the people who can help us. I recognize, you recognize that we're not going to go around telling everybody where or why we're hurting, but we can start identifying who is it that can help us. If I've got a pain in my knee, I will go and see the doctor. If I've got a pain in my mind, I will go and see the therapist. But it's important for us to remove the indifference to ourselves and to come into this reality of where we're hurting. And when we're hurting, to be able to take it with confidence to those places that can satisfy, that can remediate. Again, whether it's in the body or the mind or the spirit, that's the triad of the human being. Even that alone, that triad of humanity, is one that is worth recognizing and coming to grips with the fact that we are these three parts. We are a triumvirate. Triumvirate's a very important word because a triumvirate is a combination of bringing these three together that then become triumphant. Therefore, when we are experiencing pain, let's use that as a clue or a cue to go and get the help that we need. Let us look at our own bodies. And when we hear a pain, when we see one, we feel it, we taste it, whatever that pain is, let us be the ones that can say, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to look after it. No more secrecy, no more hidden disclosures. No, let's take it out with ourselves and bring it forward to where it can be helped. Pain is an art form. And if you think of an art form, you think of beauty. And I think we should treat pain as a source of beauty because it is precisely what allows us to bring the parts of our being into the harmony for which we were intended. We have the body, we have the mind, we have the spirit, the inner character, the well-being of ourselves, all can come together. And when we do that, we are then in a better position to dignify ourselves. And if we dignify ourselves, then we are again in that reciprocity where we can then dignify others. I will go one step further and say, if we dignify others, we create a greater opportunity to dignify ourselves. And dignify means, in other words, to give people that true sense of the value of what they're worth, to give people that sense that they really are worth it. You're worth it, I'm worth it, and that's the message today, and I rest my case.